and he's going to house it.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Angle of Pursuit podcast, your fantasy football, sports betting, and NASCAR home. I am your host, Kyle Robert. You follow me at Notorious KRO on Twitter. You follow the show at FPAOP on Twitter and at AOP Podcast on Instagram, I believe. I always confuse it. Just go to the Twitter link. All the links are there. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like button, all that good stuff. And follow Brian Twining, my co-host at Greasy Rules 14. What's up, Brian?
What's going on, Kyle? Yeah, I'm looking forward to another race to see if I can continue my hot streak of outrights.
Straight
like
fire.
3 of the last 4 or something. I mean,
3 of the 4 on the show, 4 in a row in real bets. So things are going good. That means things are going to start falling apart for you.
I was just going to say they're going to fall off a cliff for
sometimes when they're too good, it's too good. Yeah, it's been pretty decent for us. Things could have even been better if a couple things shook our way, and obviously it did not, but that's okay. And DFS was a mess last week, but that's all right. We can get back on track again this week. Qualifying is Saturday at night, 6 Eastern. We're probably going to end up recording something Sunday morning. Might even say fuck it and go live, but I'll put something on the YouTube page. So make sure you subscribe and turn on bell notifications. That way, if we go live, you can hop on, join the show, ask us questions, update our betting cards, get ready for some DFS, that kind of good stuff. This week we're going on to the dirt, Brian, and I'm trying to process in my head how I want to approach it, because obviously last year we went in with a lot of, we'll use Eldora because that's the dirt track, and we'll use some of the other dirt and the guys that have run it really well and run it consistently, and elevate them. And then the people that ended up doing well weren't necessarily people we picked. Daniel Suarez was awesome. Joey Logano crushed it, obviously won the race. Martin Truex was great until the very end. Not real names we were coming to when we were talking about our outright bets, our DFS picks, that kind of stuff. So I guess for you, are you trying to focus on really what we saw last year and use that as a jumping off point? Are you using, are you saying, well, that's not real, maybe that was more of a fluke, and kind of going to the guys that really do the dirt racing, trying to combine the two? What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, no, this is probably the most unique scenario on the season, being that you have the combination of the new car on the dirt track, which these cars have never driven on dirt. And so you're adding just another element to this kind of wacky driving situation. So for me, I was looking a little bit into last year's results. I think that is a good indication, especially guys that did well over the entire race or for long runs. I think that's really kind of indicative of how good they are on this kind of track. But then also looking at how they're performing this year in the new car, how have drivers adjusted to the next gen vehicle. And just for instance, guy like William Byron, who is freaking on fire right now. At this point, I don't think it's going to matter what track he's at. He's just, he's in tune with this car. And so coming into this race too, I don't see why you wouldn't want to back somebody like him too.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I do think it's funny they added the mud flaps. And then I think it was Bubba that responded with the picture of the grate that goes over your air filter from Home Depot. He's like, I found it. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, let's take a look at the betting odds this week. Unfortunately, our friends over at Action Network and Odds Checker just don't have grids that work this week. So we're going to do this the old school DIY way and We'll run through DraftKings. We'll run through some FanDuel, look for some differences, and then obviously BetMGM before we get out of here. But we use DraftKings as our jumping off point and kind of look at this early numbers. Kyle Larson is your betting favorite, plus 550, a guy that runs a ton of dirt. Obviously, the year he was suspended from NASCAR, he was exclusively dirt, has some good runs at Eldora. Christopher Bell right behind him, 8-1. Logano, last year's winner, 9-1. Chase Elliott, 10-1. William Byron at 12, and then Chase Briscoe at 12. Obviously, books are kind of using, these guys run well on dirt. this guy did well last year and kind of just pushing everyone together for the top of the betting board. You mentioned Byron. Is that kind of where you're starting your betting card this week?
Yeah, I'm piggybacking from last week, and I'm peppering the board again. And Byron is like the beginning of that peppering. He
Yep.
just been too good this season. He ran really well here at this race last year, finishing 6th, starting 8th. I think was inside the top 10 in both the first 2 stages as well. So, I mean, he has the history. He's probably the hottest driver in the Cup Series at the moment.
Yeah, he
And at
started.
12-1, like that's great.
Yeah, he started 8th. Halfway through the race was 3rd. The last 10% was 8 and finished 6. So I'm using I got some loop data from last year, which is really informative for kind of making our thoughts. And then I also got some loop data from iFantasy Race, our friend over there.
And
Kind
if
of
you're not
combine.
subscribed to
Yes.
his Twitter handle, like you need to go do
Yeah.
that now, and
If
his
the
website.
amount of free content he hands out on Twitter makes his subscription to his website worthwhile, because if you see what he's
Yes.
got in front of the paywall, just imagine what's behind the paywall. So some good stuff there, but using that as kind of a jumping off point. Obviously have my spreadsheet from last year with some results basically going back to 2014 for some guys, 2015 at Eldora, just to see what they've done. Byron ran it once, I believe. Yeah, he ran it once in 2016, started 18th, finished 14th. But I mean, the driver he is now versus the driver
Yeah.
he was 6
Not
7 years ago
not
is
the
night and
same.
day. But yes, I am with you. I'm going to start my betting card with William Byron. He made the list. He made the cut. We'll obviously shop it, see what the best number we can find is. But yes, that will be going on the card. Right behind him, Chase Briscoe, also going on the card. This is a driver who has experience at dirt. He ran 2017, 2018, 2019 Eldora. Got a first place finish in 2018, a third place in 2017, and then 7th in 2019. Not quite as good, but did start on the pole. Started on the pole in 2018, or no, started 3rd in the 2018. So obviously comfortable on dirt, and didn't perform quite as well as kind of you had hoped, kind of going into that race. But I think he's definitely made tremendous strides as a driver between this year and last year. It seems like
Yes.
he's a lot more comfortable in the new car than he was in the old car. Very curious to see how it works with the dirt track. Some of the drafting has been different. Some of the way the lead car can kind of pull away has been different.
I don't think we're gonna see that at this race, though.
No. So didn't do as well as you'd like, but I think it's interesting. I think there's a reason why he's priced the way he is. And I will be at least taking a stab at that 12-1 number.
Yeah, Briscoe was somebody that caught my eye. Also, like he has the extensive history that you're kind of looking for on dirt, and he's already proven this year that he's kind of been one of the better drivers in terms of understanding the new car. So
Yeah.
at 12-1, you're getting a decent price. There's a bunch of guys this week though that have some loftier numbers that I'm willing to kind of throw some darts at.
Yep. My next bet is Martin Truex. I actually found this at 16-1 and I've bet it.
Ooh.
Very happy to have that. Martin Truex was dominating the dirt race until he wasn't. Started 5th, was first after the first half of the race, was third after and going into the last 10% of the race, finished 19th. Things
And he
didn't
led
go
the most
well.
laps in the race too. I think he had like
Dominated the
120
race,
something
led the
laps.
laps. In terms of driver rating, he was only second to the winner, Joey Logano. When I saw that number, I was pretty shocked. I thought we were looking at him between 8 and 12. I got a 16, like I said. I put it on the card at 14 because that's the best number I could find on the books we use. But yeah, I'm ecstatic to have that, and I think it's maybe they're setting me up for the ultimate rug pull, but I'm very happy to have it.
Yeah, no, that's a great number, especially for Truex, like you said, who did so well here last year, kind of surprisingly, and had shown signs of life prior to last week's kind of Toyota debacle.
Yeah.
So I think for me, also somebody else like in this range that we're showing right now, like I mean, I'm gonna do it every week regardless. But Ryan Blaney at 16-1, he's
Yeah.
another guy who he ran pretty well here. He's just too effing good to not eventually win a freaking race. And as his numbers continue to inflate, you're making up for all of those previous outrights that you bet him at like under 10-1 if he were to hit on this 16-1.
Yep. No, I think it makes sense. I mean, more power to you. I'm happy to hear Christopher Bell didn't make the betting card. I think that's more about the number than it is about the Christopher Bell. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it makes sense. It's interesting to see Daniel Suarez at 20, the way he performed. Ricky Stenhouse is somebody that is
That is.
interesting as well. I'm really interested in Bubba.
So Bubba, earlier in the week, I added it to the card as when I bet it, and when the lines first dropped, I was able to get Bubba at 50-1 to
That's
win
really
this
good.
race. Like the number, it's for chump change, but I mean 50-1 for somebody who kind of came up on dirt
Yep.
and then ran really well here until he didn't near the back end of the race,
Yeah,
and
he
has
started.
shown speed.
Yeah, he started 19th. He finished 7th. Had probably a top 10, top 12 driver rating. Obviously, like you mentioned, things went poorly and crashed out and ended up finishing 27th. But yeah, he had a nice first almost 2/3 of the race.
Yep.
And as high as 4th during the running order. So yeah, he's somebody that's interesting to me. I'm not sure. Like okay, if you've obviously got the 50, would you be in at 30? Is that too short of a number? Are you looking at maybe a top 5 or a top 10 once it dips that far, or are you willing to take a shot on the outright at we're talking? And obviously we'll hop over to FanDuel and MGM here in a second to get a look at what may be better numbers in the market. But like where is your like cutoff if you're betting him to win?
Honestly, that 30-1 number is still really good,
Yeah.
especially looking at a race where there's so many unknowns coming in. I mean, this is almost as if we're going into like a super speedway type race in regards to we don't have any idea who the hell's going to run good here. So anytime you're getting that kind of number is probably really good.
Yeah. Obviously, we ran it once, but it's a brand new car, so
Yeah,
very
completely
different.
different.
Some of these guys ran the truck series as well, so that I think that helps. Obviously, just being comfortable on dirt, I think goes a long way. But as we saw last year, some guys were able to kind of overcome that and perform really, really, really well. Any of these guys interesting to you? Obviously, I'll take a look at my Eldora spreadsheet to see if I can't find some value, but they're still 40s, 50s, 60s to ones floating out there. Anybody in this range in terms of outrights you're willing to go to?
I mean, this is probably all for naught, but Eric Jones at 40-1 is somebody I do have on my card.
Didn't he run really well last year?
Yeah, I think he finished second. Or no, that was Stenhouse.
Let's see.
He finished ninth at this race last year, Eric Jones.
Okay. Trying to find him on the here we go. Yeah, so started 24th by the first half of the race, was top 12 and ended up in the last third, basically, or last 10% being in that top 10. So that's a good start. For a guy that's at 40-1, we can look at some top 10s, we can look at some top 5s on him. I think that's going to be a good market to attack because I think he makes a lot of sense there. Let's take a look at some outright prices at FanDuel, and then we'll come back and look at some top 5s, top 10s, that kind of stuff. So we'll head over to FanDuel, look at their pricing. Kyle Larson's much shorter there, 450. I guess it's not really that much, but
I don't know. That's a whole point.
That
That's a
yeah,
lot.
that's why you want to shop it.
Yep.
Christopher Bell at 8, Logano at 8. So the better number of DraftKings once again. William Byron. So Truex is 14 here as well. So pretty much the same. Briscoe 14. Okay, I'm
Yep.
not getting a better number there. Blaney at 16. Don't hate that. Let's see if we can't. Bubba at 30.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's about right. Chastain at 35 is better. Jones at 40 is the same. Cindric's the same. Digging deep here. Yeah. There is a name I do want to mention. I'll give RotoDoc credit where credit's due. He pointed out he's been on the Todd Gilliland bandwagon. This is a guy who ran Bristol in the Truck Series, also did Knoxville in the Truck Series, also ran Eldora twice, so has a little bit of comfort, and actually performed really, really well. Probably not somebody that I'm going to recommend you bet outright at
I was just gonna say
200 to
last
1.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great number, but like last week, for instance, with him starting inside the top 10, I had a feeling it was going to go as it did, and he was going to look like me on NASCAR Thunder '04, where you qualify great, but then once the race comes around, your shitty ass car gets exposed and you're at the
Yeah.
back of the pack within a couple
But I
laps.
did take a top 10 on him at 7 to 1, which I think is a good number. And it's already down, I think 6 or 5 after I bet it. So
Hey, that's a
um,
good.
that feels worthwhile. I just wanted to head over to MGM to see if we can't get better numbers on some of the guys we're looking at.
They're a lot more bunched. I mean,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
are
they're
14s.
really like, oh, you did well last year. Okay, we're gonna push you up. Oh, you've done well on dirt before. Okay, we're gonna push you up. And I squish everyone together, not get overexposed here. Um, these numbers are not as pretty as the
I
grid
mean, look at
usually
that
looks.
Stenhouse 20 to 1. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
that's crazy. They're usually a lot more friendly about
Yeah,
solid.
you can still get that
There's
Bubba
a
50.
Bubba. There's a Bubba at 50. I'm putting that on the card. Thanks, BetMGM.
That is a great number.
Yeah, I think at 50, it's a lot nicer than it is um, at
Yeah,
30.
30. Hell, you can even still get Jones at 50 to 1, and I got it at 40 to 1 on the particular offshore that we use.
Yep, our offshore of choice. Okay, so Briscoe is at 14. William Byron is at 14. Reddick I got at 15. I forget where I got that, and then Truex at 14. So then I want to get a Bubba Wallace top 10, I think, but that's where my head goes. Gilliland's 250 here, so you want to get real loose, head over to BetMGM and see it. Let's go look at that top 10 market and see. Oh yeah, we don't got DraftKings is not posting. Do we have top 10s over at FanDuel? I
I
believe
think
we
we
do.
do at FanDuel.
Okay, so let's look at top threes first, just to see if there's anything there. Because obviously, if we like people to win, looking at the top three market is never a bad idea. William Byron at almost 4 to 1. I don't hate that. Briscoe 4 to 1. Truex at almost 4.5 to 1 is really nice.
That is a pretty good number.
That is pretty good considering, his 12 to 1, 14 to 1, something like that to win. 8.5 to 1 for Bubba. It's almost a better number. If you could only get him at 30, I think I might take the top three 8.5 and give myself
Yeah, a
a
couple
little wiggle
spots.
room.
Yep.
If we're looking at the top 10 market, Stenhouse, Suarez, Chastain, these aren't terrible.
I don't know. I'm not paying.
Eric Jones at plus money
I was
to
just gonna
top
say
10
so.
plus
Eric,
145. That is going on the card.
both Eric Jones and Bubba are on the card for top 10s.
What's Bubba's same number? Yeah, plus
Same number.
145. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Let's see. I like that. What's Gilliland is 6-1 here. I'll throw that on the card for gigs.
I think it's comical. You got Michael McDowell plus 460. Like, I don't know. He's like a super speedway only driver.
Yeah. Like if I could get Gilliland versus some of these guys in like props, like head to heads, might be a good place to go. Let's see what kind of head to heads we can get. So we got Briscoe versus Suarez. Obviously, I would take Briscoe, but so is everyone else. So that doesn't work. This is kind of interesting. Larson's been a little frustrating, maybe just because we have such lofty expectations for him. But to see him against Christopher Bell, who's actually been pretty solid of late, that good of a price, I don't hate that. Truex versus Logano plus 130 on Truex. I will take that. I know Logano last year.
That's a great number.
But I think I'm getting value there. And maybe I'll end up with egg on my face, but I'm getting plus money on a driver I absolutely love this week. Maybe looking at my best bet of the week, Brian. Willie B over Alex Bowman minus 120. That's a pretty good price considering we didn't even really mention Alex Bowman and we like William Byron. You can also take Byron against Logano at minus 112.
Byron over Logano has
is that your bet of the week?
That might be my bet of the week today.
Love to see it. Love to see it. I know your rivalry with Logano and Brad Keselowski are probably two of my favorite things. All right, let's go see if we have any cool matchups over here. Briscoe versus Suarez, Larson versus Bell. You can get Larson at plus 100. Truex is plus 120 there. Yep, I can get 130 at FanDuel, so I'll keep that. Byron minus 120 versus pretty much the same things.
I just wish they could just be even. I mean,
yeah, but like the book has to make their money. That's the thing. Do we have any props or anything over here? Let's see.
The books are catching on, man. They're starting to realize there's a bigger market for NASCAR betting than they had thought.
Yeah. It's been pretty fun. It's interesting too. I think it seems like I don't know if they're just I was thinking, oh well, they're getting better or they're taking longer because of March Madness and stuff. But I think it's just they're getting caught with their pants around their ankles and wondering why why stuff's happening. So they're being a little stronger with.
DK just dropped top tens.
Okay,
as we're talking right now.
Let's take a look. You love to see it.
I can already see some beautiful spots we got in on.
Okay, let's jump in here and take a look at that top 10 market. Obviously some big numbers up there. Keselowski. Let's see. What are we looking at top 10s? Bubba's even here. We got him at what? Plus
145.
You'll love to see it.
Then look at the disparity with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He was minus 160 on FanDuel, and he's minus 110 here on DK.
That's called value.
A good number.
I'm gonna bet that blindly.
Yeah.
If I can find that big of a difference, like maybe that's silly, but I think there's value. That's why you shop these numbers.
Hopefully he's rocking the Sunny D.
Yeah, I mean, not like you'll be able to tell by the end of the race, but
that's so true.
Definitely love to see it. Let's see here. Anything else that really jumps out? Any good numbers? Gilliland's 8. I am updating my numbers. Shouts to DraftKings. When you're betting $20, getting 8-1 instead of 6-1 is significant.
That is.
Austin Cindric, I feel like people are going to gravitate towards just because he's a name and he's got decent price, but he hasn't really run well on dirt. Then he'll end up winning the race, and I'll look like an idiot for saying it. But I think it's worthwhile. Do we have what was it? I was looking at um Austin Dillon, I think, plus 130 over there. Is this no? That's outright. That's gotta be outright or top 3. Where's my top 10 market? Is this top 10?
Yeah.
Top 10. Austin Dillon, 120. Okay. So a better number over here. So that's why it always helps to shop it if you can. Obviously, depending on where you live, depending on what your options are, you may or may not have multiple places you can kind of gravitate towards, but that little extra value really does make a difference, especially if it's a bet you want to make already. Like if you're like, oh, I want to bet this outright and that outright, and then you just go shop at your different options and always have a little bit of change kicking around in a couple books. That way you can attack those numbers as soon as you see them.
I was gonna say too that Ross Chastain number at minus 105. I don't really care like what his history on dirt is. Very similarly to last week, how I convinced Kyle to get in on that number. He is just driving so good right now that's almost like an unavoidable number at this point in the season.
Yep. I wish I had gone to it. Let's review last week, and obviously I'm all thrown off. I wanted to show obviously not a great week for your boy. Did have Logano over Hamlin, which is nice, and Buescher over Custer, which is nice. And my best bet, Ross Chastain. So it ended up not being an absolutely train wreck of a week, but it is fine. We talk about it. The more we get to we hit a couple outrights, all of a sudden that bankroll is gonna be looking much better. Byron at 10-1 for Brian. He had Byron over Truex, Briscoe over Keselowski, Blaney over Truex. That was the show bet. And then Buescher over Custer. So some decent hits for Brian. Obviously, we're still down on the year. I was beating Brian last week. He got the outright on Byron, and now he's beating me. So, not the best season for us, but we're getting there. I think we're finding some winners. I think I'm also being a lot more patient with our bets. As you can see, I have Party Marty at 14. I have Tyler Reddick at 15. I have Briscoe 14. I have Byron at 14, and I have Bubba Wallace at 50. As I say, I'm limiting my bets. I have 5 outrights, so it really putting the proof in the pudding there.
Hey, that's how I've been hitting.
Oh yeah, I mean, fire as many bullets as you can. Eventually, you're bound to hit something, right?
That's right.
And then I have Eric Jones top 10. I have Todd Gilliland top 10. I have Ricky Stenhouse top 10. I have Bubba Wallace top 10. And I think, this is for my best bet. I'm gonna go with Truex over Logano. I just plus money. I know Logano won last year, but I love Party Marty this week. I bet him real life dollars. And if I am that confident and feel that good, I should trust him over Joey, who is Brian's nemesis. So that's always good. As you can see with Brian's card, he's got Bubba, he's got Eric Jones, he's got William Byron, he's got Ryan Blaney. He's also got Suarez over Harvick. He's got Bubba top 10, Eric Jones top 10, Byron over Logano, and Stenhouse top
Jr.
10.
Top 10, yeah.
Okay. So that is where Brian's card is. Brian, what is your best bet for the Food City Dirt Race at Bristol?
Well, we talked about it. You did it. I'm doing it. William Byron over Joey Logano.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Yeah, we just want Joey Logano to just and crash in the first few laps, and then we'll be just sitting there counting our money. So,
mind you, this means that he's absolutely going to win the race.
100% going to win back to back. Yep. I don't love it when we're both on the same page when it comes to him, whether it's positive or negative, but that's okay. Brian Twining, if you are enjoying the show, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you do the subscribe. We're marching towards 400. I have something in the mail that if we hit 1K, obviously we're not even halfway there, but if we hit 1K by the end of the NASCAR playoffs, we will be doing a giveaway, and it's a good giveaway.
Oh,
So you need to make sure you're subscribed. Tell your friends to subscribe.
yes.
Hit the thumbs up. Let us know down in the comments who's winning the dirt race. Like I said, we will be back live Sunday. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure your bell notifications on. Probably Sunday morning. We're both on the West Coast, so probably 11 or 12. I gotta see what time that the actual race starts out east. But yeah,
We are both early birds, so
yes,
nice cup of
by
coffee.
by choice and or not by choice, but that's okay. We will be up. We will be caffeinated, and we will be ready to give you some winners as well as go through all the DraftKings pricing, and hopefully find some value over there. Put some good lineups together and win all the money when it comes
Hopefully.
to Bristol. That's Brian Twining. I'm Kyle Robert. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time.